Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome back to the Any Questions community, everyone. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here for another explainer. So, if you've been following our series on the magic of blended families, you already know we love exploring the beautiful, kind of messy, but always rewarding journey of merging our lives together. Last time, we tackled the silent treatment, that incredibly tricky space where communication just completely breaks down. And honestly, I was so moved by your comments and stories. It really hit home for me that while we spend tons of time focusing on the emotional glue that holds our families together, there is a very practical, decidedly unglamorous side of blending that we literally have to address. Today, we're talking about legal and legacy planning. Yeah, I know, wills, trusts, and the big what-ifs aren't exactly first-date conversation material. But getting a grip on this, it is going to fundamentally change how you look at your family's future.
Because here's a profound truth we just have to face when it comes to blended families. On one hand, we have the magic of blending, those emotional threads that, let's be real, women so often end up holding together for everyone. But on the other hand, we have the logistics. It is so easy to put off dealing with the wills, the trust, and the heavy what-ifs, mainly because they force us to think about deeply uncomfortable scenarios. But here is the perspective shift I want us to make today. Tackling these uncomfortable legal logistics, it isn't just a pile of paperwork. It's actually one of the absolute most profound acts of love and protection you can ever offer your family. When you handle the logistics, you are actively protecting that magic. Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is how the hidden dangers for blended families usually hide right in the default rules. Look, in a traditional family structure, estate planning can be relatively straightforward. If you don't have a plan, the default laws of your state just take over, and usually those laws line up pretty perfectly with clear traditional inheritance and guardianship lines. But for blended families, those lines are completely blurred. Without clear documentation, you are leaving your family's entire future up to default state laws that were probably written decades ago. And spoiler alert, those default laws completely failed the complex dynamics of blended families. They rarely, if ever, account for stepchildren, the lingering legal rights of ex-spouses, or the super delicate nuances of a yours, mine, and ours dynamic. Basically, if you do nothing, the state decides. And trust me, the state does not know your family. A family law expert we spoke with shared a perspective that honestly carries immense weight. They said estate planning in a blended family isn't about dividing assets. It's about preventing future conflict. It's the difference between leaving your children an inheritance or leaving them a battlefield. I mean, just think about the stakes involved there. When we fail to put a plan in place, we aren't just risking our money or our property. We are actively risking the relationships of the people we leave behind. The friction that comes from a lack of clarity can absolutely tear a blended family apart, especially during a time of profound grief. We definitely do not want to leave our loved ones a battlefield. Let that battlefield metaphor sink in for just a second. It's heavy. I know it's heavy. But here is the really good news. Peace of mind starts with logistics. When you have a blended family, legal planning is honestly just a fancy, formal term for peace of mind. It's about making sure your kids, whether they are biological or stepchildren, feel incredibly secure no matter what crazy curveballs life throws at them. It's about completely taking the anxiety out of the unknown. So how do we actually get there? Let's move to these steps and see how this builds. To really achieve this peace of mind, we have 3 actionable pillars we've got to prioritize: updating beneficiaries, securing guardianship, and adopting what we call a divorce-proof mindset. Let's look at that first one. Starting with priority 1, beneficiaries. Now, this is actually the easiest step to take, but guys, it carries a massive, flashing neon danger sign. You need to check your life insurance policies, your 401ks, and your pension plans right now, like immediately. Why? Because if your ex-spouse is still listed as the beneficiary on those documents, that money will legally go to them. Let me say that again. It goes to them, completely regardless of what your current will says. The beneficiary designation on the account literally trumps your will. Imagine updating your will perfectly, but you forget about your old 401k. If something happens to you, your ex-spouse could walk away with your entire life savings, totally ignoring your current family's needs. Getting control of those accounts today is the absolute quickest win you can get in this whole process. And that brings us right to priority 2, which requires asking a really heavy but totally necessary question. Who steps in if you aren't there? If you have minor children, guardianship is paramount. And in a blended family, this gets highly complicated really quickly, especially because of the rights of a surviving biological parent. You might just naturally assume your current spouse will automatically raise your biological kids, but the law might actually say otherwise if the other biological parent is still in the picture. Having a clear, legally sound plan helps you navigate these incredibly choppy waters. It ensures that your minor children are never, ever left in legal limbo, bouncing between households or caught in some awful courtroom tug-of-war while they are grieving. And this brilliantly illustrates our third priority. It's one that usually makes people a little squirmy: prenuptial and postnuptial agreements. I know, right? It's a tough thing to consider the possibility of a marriage ending, especially when you are blissfully happy right now. But we really have to reframe how we view these documents. They are not an expectation of failure, they're a roadmap. They are a roadmap that keeps the focus exactly where it should be, on the children's well-being rather than on some bitter courtroom fight. These agreements, they aren't just for the ultra-wealthy. They are for the protected. They set the rules of engagement while you still actually love each other. And honestly, that is the ultimate divorce-proofing strategy. When we pull all of these pieces together, the beneficiaries, the guardianship, the agreements, we arrive at the greatest gift of planning. Love really is an action, you guys. When we do the hard, sometimes pretty tedious work of logistical planning, we are giving our families a monumental gift. We're empowering them. We are giving them the freedom to grieve and grow, rather than forcing them to argue and guess what our intentions were. Just imagine your family trying to heal from a major loss. Do you want them united in their healing, or completely divided by confusion and massive legal bills? Clarity is kindness. So, the crucial point is this. Legacy isn't just what you leave to people, it's what you leave in people. And if you leave them clear instructions, you leave them the grace to move forward. Really think about that. We spend so much time stressing about the financial assets we're leaving our family, but true legacy, that's about the security and love we leave inside them. By stepping up and handling the uncomfortable legal logistics, you are literally giving your family the grace to move forward in peace. It proves once and for all that legal logistics truly equal love. Now, as a quick aside, I am obviously not a lawyer, so please consult with a qualified estate attorney in your area to tailor these steps to your own specific situation. This explainer is just to get you thinking and moving in the right direction. But I want to leave you with a real question to chew on. Have you actually started this process? Are you willing to face a few uncomfortable conversations today just to guarantee your family's peace of mind tomorrow? Let me know down in the comments or shoot me an email. I'd love to hear how you're handling this. Protect the magic, handle the logistics, and we'll see you next time.